Okay, I'm drinking tea today because I'm in a bit of a sticky situation. So, before I start with this story time, hello, welcome back to a week of plant to-dos. I'm filming this kind of late, to be honest. It's already March 17th, and this has to go up at the end of the month. So, we're gonna get right into it. You can see I have this massive box behind me. This is not sponsored by Costco. It's my new repotting table, which I'm very, very, very excited for and needed like a year ago. Whoa, let me move you back. My husband, for the last, I don't know, 2 months, has been begging me to go to a movie. I like watching movies, but I'm a germaphobe. Some of you guys know that already. So going to the movie theater, it's not an ideal date night situation for me, but my husband loves going to the movies. He loves watching movies for one, but going to the movies, like if he could go every weekend, he probably would. And I do enjoy going to the movies, especially the ones where it's like the reclining seats and the heated seats and they bring you drinks. Like that I can get on board with. But like regular movie theaters where it's like really cramped and sticky and dirty and dusty, like miss me with that. It's just so, I could not think of anything nastier. So anyway, yesterday I decided, you know what, Vince and I, we had both been working so hard because my husband just started a new job a couple weeks ago. So he's been under like a massive amount of stress and I've been working like crazy. And so we haven't really spent a lot of like time together. I feel like it's a funny thing to say when you literally live with them, but truly we don't spend a lot of like one-on-one time together where we're not like on our devices and we're like, you know, completely unplugged and it's just us. So I was like, okay, let's go to this movie. I don't mind going to movies, but what really freaking gets me is the prices of the things at the movie theaters. Like it'll never cease to amaze me how much they like jack up the price for all of their crap that they sell. So it was around dinner time. So my husband and I were like, well, we're gonna have to eat dinner. Ugh. Okay, so why? Please get out of here. Okay. Oh my gosh, my stomach. So we decided to grab some food at the like shopping area that we were at before we went in and just would put it in my purse. We grabbed Mexican food. I have had this like chain of Mexican food before, but I have never eaten at this location specifically. So honestly, I should have listened to my gut. I was like, I'm gonna get like a veggie burrito, but I hadn't eaten that day. So I was like really, really hungry and I hadn't had like any protein all day. So I was like, okay, I'll just get like the grilled chicken, which I did. Got like the basics, like everything that I would normally get in it. Black beans, rice, lettuce, sour cream, pico de gallo, cilantro, onions, nothing like out of the ordinary. We get to the movie. I eat half of the burrito before the movie even starts because I didn't want to be eating it during the movie. I was fine throughout most of the movie, but maybe about like 20 to 25 minutes before the movie was gonna end, I was like, something feels a little off. And I literally felt like I was gonna throw up. And this isn't a like brand new feeling. I throw up probably like once a week. So I went back in my head. I was like, okay, well, did I have too much caffeine today? Did I forget to take my antidepressant? Because I get nauseous when I forget to take it. But no, everything was fine. And then like maybe 5 minutes before the movie ends, it's like really like it's bad down there. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm not gonna throw up, but I'm actually gonna like, it's gonna come out the other way. So right when the movie ended, I told my husband, I was like, we have to get home now, like yesterday, like now. And he's like, why? And I was like, I'm literally gonna shit my pants. And I can't even believe I'm telling you guys this story, but you know, my IBS girlies, you guys get it, right? This is the largest table I've ever seen, but it's beautiful. Oh. That was actually one reason I wanted to get this table specifically, was so that when my parents visit or we have people over, we can play mahjong, which I need to buy my own mahjong set. What is this? Is this a mandula? Sorry, it like caught my eye. Pretty. You know, I think propagating mandula is probably one of my favorite plants to propagate because it's like so different every time and like so exciting. Sorry, it doesn't want to come out of here. I have a bunch of like Scindapsus trubii. Wait, what is it? Scindapsus trubii? Not trubii. I'll throw up the name, I can't remember. But I have a bunch in here propagating and they're starting to wake up now. I thought this might be it, but it's not. It's a manji. Look how cute it is. It's a baby. Okay, anyway, wow. So yeah, you know, my husband, I had never seen him drive home so fast. I was literally clutching onto anything in the car. I was meditating, and I really got it in my head. I was like, today is the day. 33 years old, today is the day that I have been waiting for and anticipating my entire life, because I'm like, how am I me? And everything in my life that has happened to me, yet I've never shit my pants. So it's one of those things where it's like the universe is gonna get you, it's gonna catch up to you, it's just gonna happen. And I was fully ready to like accept the fact that like my husband has never heard me fart, seen me poop, heard me poop, none of that. That's me time, that's a very personal, sacred experience. And I'm like, the first time that it all happens, it's gonna happen in front of him in the car in my pants. We were going, I was clutching everything. I was cold, but I was sweating, and it was like I was in labor. I was like, I feel like I'm crowning and I'm in labor and you're trying to get me to the hospital. It was a whole experience. I made it home, barely, but I do think that I got food poisoning because I've had a very, very upset stomach for 2 days now, and it has not been great. Okay, now I'm gonna set up this table and we will get off the floor, because honestly my hips are hurting from repotting on the floor for like 2 weeks. This table is large and in charge, but kind of amazing. You're really far, but we're gonna have to get used to this. Okay, so that was my story time. I'm sorry to have started this week of plant to-dos with a fecal matter, literally. So yeah, I need my tea because tomorrow is the North Shore Tropicals / Plant Happens event at North Shore Tropicals. So basically what that means is Lauren and Jing are doing a joint event tomorrow at Lauren's shop. And I'm going to attempt to go with Alice. And I really don't want to shit myself tomorrow. That would be honestly so great. I don't feel like that's a lot to ask for, but I'm just hoping by tomorrow I feel well enough, because you know, like I'm mentally in a good mood and I want to like go out and socialize and like be around plants and see all the cool things, but my body is like, well, just you wait. With the event being tomorrow, we are also celebrating Jing's birthday. After the event, we're gonna go to dinner with our partners. It's like the usual me, Alice, Jing, plus our three men. I have Jing's birthday gift here, well, part of her birthday gift here that I need to kind of get settled, because I don't want to give it to her like this. And by the way, this is from me and Alice. We always do joint gifts because we are all very, very poor. So I stopped by Indigo and grabbed her a few things. So I found these really cool like metal trellises, Whoa, that was weird. I thought it was falling off the table. Yeah, they're kind of interesting. Like they've got, like this one's got like all these loop-de-loops. This one's got this one loop-de-loop, and then this one is just like a regular like arch. And I don't know, I thought it was really cool. I liked the color. They are a bit heavier, which I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work, because it's like if a trellis is too heavy, it tends to, yeah, like fall over. But I think she's using it with pawn. It should be fine. But I thought she would like this just because she has a lot of Hoyas in her collection, and I just feel like she needs it. Oh, she wrapped it and everything. Oh, whatever, I'm gonna open it. Pretty simple plant parent. It's got this little cactus inside, which I thought was really cute with the green handle. Her and Alice got me one very similar to this for my birthday, and it was a ghost inside, and it's one of my favorite mugs ever. So she probably doesn't need more mugs, but she doesn't get to make that call. The next thing I got was this plant pot, and how stinking cute are these? It came in black as well. They actually had a lot of really cute pots that I love a lot, but it's not quite in the budget for me to like splurge. Like this was $40, and you guys know that like I moan and groan over like a $4 glass vase at the thrift store. So to spend $40 on one planter for myself is just, it's a luxury that I do not have at the moment. But for your birthday, you get a special pot, and I just thought this was so cute, and I feel like one of her like big Hoyas or maybe a trailing plant would look really cute in it. I also grabbed her this Pura Vida Nightfall oil, THC oil. I don't know if I'm even allowed to talk about this on a monetized channel, but it's legal where I live. It's like a government-run store where you can buy like weed and pre-rolls and oils. It's just a beautiful time to be alive. This stuff has changed my life. So dramatic. But like seriously, right now I'm on Ativan for my panic attacks, and I don't even remember the last time that I had to take one of those pills. There are times when I'm trying to fall asleep. I forgot to take the prices off. There are times where I'm trying to fall asleep and I get really restless and it triggers a panic attack, and my normal would be to pop an Ativan, and like it like almost instantly makes me just get out of that headspace. This does the same thing. The only thing is that it lasts so long. It's literally called Nightfall because it's indica, or an indica. What is it? An indica. What? Meaning it doesn't make you like laugh and giggly and silly and goofy. It literally knocks your ass out for like a minimum of like 8 hours. Seriously. I don't want to take off this whole tag, but what the hell, man? Anyway, all that to say, this is the good stuff. If you're here in Canada and you have access to this Nightfall, seriously, it is life-changing. I pretty much take it every single night when I go to sleep, even if I'm not having panic attacks, because it just puts me in like the deepest state of just calm and like relaxation without the paranoia of being high. Right now, my happy dose is 0.2 milliliters. Anything more than that and I'm just high. 0.2 is like the perfect, I don't even like feel high, I just feel so relaxed and just like amazing and wonderful. So you'll have to really like test it out for yourself. It's, you know, everyone does a different dosing. My husband does the full dose, so he can do like probably up to like 0.4 milliliters. But it was funny because my dad, so not me exposing my dad on the internet, but my dad was, I don't want to say addicted. My dad relied heavily on over-the-counter sleep medication for decades. Like since I was a baby, he has been just like chugging that stuff down. So nothing really gets him to sleep anymore, and he suffers from pretty bad insomnia. Yeah, because, you know, after years and years and years of taking those medications, you just kind of, yeah, like stops working. Like your body just gets so used to it. So when he came here to Canada the last time they visited, my dad, like they had like a stressful driving day. I was like, I'm gonna give you some of this and you're just gonna sleep really well. He's like, oh, nothing's gonna work on me. Like, you know, I'm so used to like all these sleep meds, like I'm too hardcore for it. The dude slept till almost like 1 p.m. the next day. I literally had to make sure both of my parents were alive. Like I had to pop in the room like 3 times just to like make sure I could see them breathing. Hilarious. But they slept like babies. My dad loves it. Every time he's here now, he's like, I need my oils. So anywho, yeah, those are the things that we grabbed. And we also got her 2 other seedlings. I cannot remember exactly which kinds of anthurium seedlings they are, but they are very, very cute and exciting. And so we'll just add that into this little baggie tomorrow. Alice has them. Alice has them, by the way. Now, I would like to formally introduce you guys to what I like to call the Sisterhood of the Traveling Gift Bag. I got this for my birthday from the girls last year, and I vowed that this would make its rounds throughout our little friend group on our birthdays. So now it is time to pass the torch on to Jing. So other than packaging Jing's gift today, I have a whole bunch of plants here that like need my attention that I would like to address this week, and I'm saving some of them for another repot video, but there's no way that I'm gonna squeeze every single plant that I need to repot into this next repot video that I'm doing. So I do want to do some tonight, maybe like 2 of them tonight, not more than 2, because seriously, I'm not feeling well, and for the past 2 days since last night, I have just had a heat pack on my stomach because it just does not feel good. It feels very, very food poisony, like just constantly nauseous. So that's not good. I think I kind of want to handle this one. I'm a little bit confused though. I mean, the roots don't look great. There are some new roots, but some of the old roots look really bad. And honestly, I can't tell if it's, you're so far away. Oh gosh. I can't tell if it's mold, like a bad mold, or if this is mycelium from Myco. My gut is kind of telling me mold, but I've also seen photos of myceliums. I've seen photos of mycelium that looks like this. And I'm like, am I gonna mess it up? But at the same time, honestly, I didn't repot this that long ago. And I feel like in all of the years that I've been using Myco, I've never seen it look like this. I'm a little bit hesitant though, because seriously, there's like photos here. I think I saw one. Oh, frick, whose story did I see it on earlier? They posted mycelium. It looked like a bunch of like seeds that they were germinating or something, and they had added Myco, and they showed a photo of what the mycelium looked like, and it looked just like this. And I have seen why are you facing this way? I have seen mycelium in my vessels, but it kind of looks more like a web rather than like mold. Yeah, I can't remember. But anyway, it like kind of looks like mycelium, but at the same time kind of doesn't. It looks really not great. But you know what? If I didn't see that photo today, I would have 100% just looked at this and been like, oh my gosh, it's bad. But it looked just like it. But I think I am gonna get it out of here and kind of figure out what's going on, because I don't like the way that looks. I know you guys can't tell, but this table takes up like this entire room. It's so big. I'm so happy. I have my cart now. I've got my table, I've got my cart. She's complete. Okay, let's freaking get this guy out. Oh, she's dry. Drier than dry. I'm gonna keep it on this pole though. The more I look at it, the more I feel like it is mycelium. But maybe it's just moldy roots, I don't know. I've just never had it happen to me before. That's why I'm so shooketh. I actually don't really like these roots. The more I look at them, they've definitely gotten a lot darker than when I potted them. These were water roots, and I feel like, yeah, they were a little bit longer than I like them to be when I move things from water to its substrate. But let's kind of see what the inside of these dark roots look like. Oh, damn it. They're dead. They're completely black inside. They don't have that healthy tissue anymore. Let's take one of these primary roots and see what color it is. Black. Oh, this one's not black. That's the color I'm looking for inside of the tissue, not black. But you know, I think I can chop off. What in the heck? It's fighting back. I think I'm gonna chop off some of these secondary roots and just get back to rerooting it completely. Well, not completely, because I can see some new roots up here, but I definitely want to get rid of some of these yucky ones. Like this one is completely soft and mushy. So I'm gonna cut back until I can see healthy tissue. And I'm gonna go ahead and remove all of these secondary roots from the plant. By the way, I'm gonna end up putting the roots in my tea. Oh, itchy. You know, we all know what happened last night at the movie theater. Almost crapped myself. Can't say that enough on the internet. But I watched the new Scream movie and I really freaking liked it. I know this is gonna sound really like cliche, like, oh yeah, haven't heard that before, but I am such a huge fan of Jenna Ortega. She is a little firecracker. You know why I think I really like her? I think I like her a lot because she's small like me. We're literally like, I think we're the same exact height, but she has like this like presence about her. Like she just like owns the room and she like commands attention. I think because like anytime I'm in a room full of people, me being the size that I am, I don't feel very confident. I feel like everyone's like hovering over me and towering over me. I've never had that sort of like confident energy or aura about myself. I always feel like, I don't know, I always feel really literally and figuratively little around people in general, normal sized people. But she just like, I don't know, she has this aura about her, this like short girl aura, but it makes her like feel so big and it's inspiring. So I chopped off quite a bit of roots, but the good thing is though, is like you can literally see some new root action happening up at the top, so that's good. And I still have these primary roots that haven't rotted, so yeah, should be okay. Now, I think what I want to do is actually just give this a quick soak in hydrogen peroxide just to get any gunk off. Enough fangirling about Jenna Ortega. Otherwise, the movie I thought was really good. I liked the story. I liked the cast. I liked, it had like the perfect amount of like storyline plus slasher. And it was great. I like actually thoroughly enjoyed it, besides the end when I thought that I was gonna, you know, go number 2 in my pants. I need to stop saying that. It's actually dreadfully embarrassing. So I'm gonna let this soak for a little bit and just get it nice and clean. So I repotted this, not recently, but like kind of recently. And this is my philodendron roseocataphyllum. And you guys can see on this new leaf, we've got some yellow spotting, like bright yellow, which in my mind is not a good sign. That doesn't scream pest to me, does not scream thrips, it screams roots. This bright yellow color with like the brown and like how it's sort of bleeding into the leaf. And really on a like one of the newer leaves, you shouldn't really see a spot that looks like that. Like that's really weird. So I'm gonna get it out of here and see what's going on. It was doing well for a long time too. No. It's late. It's 11:30 and I don't want Lecca to fall on the ground. I would like to maintain my good relationship with my neighbors downstairs if possible. So what I normally look for what I normally look for is mushy stem, mushy roots. Some of the roots don't look great, but there are plenty of new roots. The stem is firm, no rotting on the stem. I'd say for the most part, it's actually quite healthy. And I wouldn't expect for what these roots look like for that damage to be showing on the leaves. A mystery. I actually do think I'm going to get this back into pond, but I'm going to make it a very perlite heavy pond. So I'm just putting it in this plastic cup, as you can obviously see with your eyes. Whoa. Because this is a rehab now and I'm not using nice vessels for rehab plants. And I think I'm going to inoculate this with great white, I think. I do want to use a lazy strap around this cup though. Okay, so I'm just going to do this so that I can cover the rest of this stem with pond. Alright, I am going to water this right away because the roots were kind of dry. I honestly think that what it could have been is that it was getting like irregular waterings, plus I lowered the light that this was getting. So this was actually growing for a while in my tent, and then when it started to like bounce back for me, I took it out and I put it in this exo before I did the reshift, and it was under a bunch of other plants, so it was probably honestly at most getting like maybe 80-foot candles of light, which is nothing basically. And yeah, I think it just didn't like it. So what I'm gonna do is make sure I put it somewhere where it is getting like direct light from a grow light, and hopefully like it will stop being so angry at me. I'm gonna put the philodendron gladhands into another small pot because I chopped off all the roots. Basically, look at how bent this petiole has been for so long, and like it's totally fine. She's like, whatever. This pole is not very stable, so I'm gonna be adding a bamboo stake to it, but I need it to puncture through all of this very easily, so I'm going to be cutting it at an angle to make it sharp. Don't try this at home, kids. I'm just using my old gardening shears, which I only use for this reason now, and I just make a pointed edge, pointed corner like that. And you know what, I should probably wet this first. There we go. way more stable now. Easy fix. Again, I think that this one also was suffering from the fact that it had a lot of bright light, and then I took it away from bright light, and it just, yeah, wasn't looking great. And I think that maybe is where the mold came from. Hopefully that wasn't mycelium. If someone tells me that it is, I'm gonna feel really freaking stupid. But what else is new? Wow, I managed to make so much mess in like record time. That's, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty impressive. So it is getting close to midnight now. I try to not film on Friday nights if I can help it, because this is like my husband's night to, like, he likes to watch his movies and shows and whatever, and I, you know, when I'm filming I tell him he has to be quiet. So he's currently watching The Mandalorian, and I want him to enjoy the big screen TV. So I'm gonna clean up here, I'm gonna go, and I think the next time I see you will either be, I guess, before I leave, or maybe even with Alice in the car. Who knows, but you'll find out in 1 second. Good morning, everyone. It is honestly such a beautiful day. This is the first event that I've gone to in a long time where I didn't have to leave the house with a puffer jacket. So I'm happy. The sun is out. Like, I'm literally just in this like linen top, and it's hot. Like, I'm hot. I feel so good. I'm so happy. So anyway, I'm at the wow, my collar. I'm at the garden store right now. It's a place called Garden Works. I just need to pick up a few things. The last time that I came here, it was kind of a dud. Like, there wasn't really any cool plants or anything to show. But if there is, I'll show you. If there's not, then I guess I'll just see you at North Shore Tropicals. Mylanta, I am so tired and sweaty. Ew. Had a really great day today. The North Shore Tropicals event, or pop-up North Shore Tropicals sale went really well. Got to say hi to a bunch of people. Came home to some goodies that I didn't even know that I had, to be honest. So I think this is an Anthurium obtusum. So these were seeds from my friend Amanda that Alice germinated for me, and this one was a complete surprise. I didn't even know I was getting this. This is an Anthurium luxurians crossed with a Ralph Lynam Fort Sherman, which, what the heck? That's so nice. I'm deceased. I didn't know that I was getting this. So thank you so much, Amanda. She snuck in a little prezzy for us when she shipped stuff to Lauren. So that was just a nice surprise. I feel like I have a little bit of Amanda here with me. So anywho, I'm having my wine because I'm winding down. I was going to edit tonight, but I'm so tired. I feel like tomorrow I'd rather just, haul ass and finish my vlog that I need to finish editing. But tonight I kind of just wanted to, I don't know. I was going to repot some more plants, but I don't really want to make a mess. So I think what I'm going to do is do a teeny tiny, because I'm doing a plant tour soon, I'm going to do a teeny tiny little plant update in this video of leaves I'm excited about right now. That's been a highly requested video. I always get requests to do favorites videos, but I don't want to do them every month. But I just feel like for the people that watch these long week ofs, I should sprinkle in some really good stuff. So this is part of that. I don't know where to start though. There's so much new growth in here. Here is one thing I am pretty excited about right now. This is my Philodendron Patriciae. I feel like the lighting is not that great here. So here's Miss Patty. She is definitely gaining some size here. I feel like she was struggling for a little bit, trying to, I don't know, get out of this weird funk that she was in. The leaves weren't sizing up all that much, but I got it onto a pole and tried a little bit harder, and she seems to be rewarding me. So this is really soft and floppy still, so it's still got quite a bit of growing to do. I think this was the last leaf on it, and you can see they're about the same size right now, so I do think this one is going to be slightly longer. It's starting to darken up a bit, so I think it's getting close to the size that it's going to be, so that is very exciting. I just feel like the time that I have invested in this plant to look like the Patriciae that I've always wanted is finally starting to pay off. So yeah, we're getting closer. I'm just getting these kind of weird spots on them. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's these little freckles, and Alice has been getting them too. I'm not quite sure what that is about, but yeah, it's kind of strange. I know you can see them, these little neon spots. I didn't have that issue with the younger leaves. It's kind of just sort of started happening on this leaf, and you can kind of see them a little bit over here. And I'm not quite sure what the cause of that is, but otherwise I'm really happy with it. It's getting more pillowy and like ruched and ruffly, and yeah, no complaint other than the little spotty dotties, but that's pretty minor. Sorry, the light keeps changing because like I switched up in my plant room and I'm not quite sure about the light yet. It's a little bit crazy, but anywho, you guys really haven't seen this plant in a while. I feel like it's been kind of a little bit since I've shown it, but this is my philodendron heterocraspidon. You know what? I think I need to turn off the light behind me. You're a little much. Can't remember the last time that I would have featured this plant. Some people were wondering if it had died because I didn't show it for a long time, but the truth is it was struggling for a little bit. You guys can kind of see down here like a lot of these cosmetic damages on the leaf. I was dealing with definitely thrips. This plant was attacked profusely by thrips as well as spider mites. You can see some of the damage that it left behind on this leaf. And then the substrate that it was in was not happy at all. It was drying out. It was just, yeah, it was just doing very poorly for a while. And it wasn't until recently that I kind of started paying more attention to it. I repotted it into this like tree fern fiber pond mix. And I always just find that my hetero is like a slow rooter in general. So I'm not seeing a ton of new roots down here, but I'm definitely seeing some new roots inside of this pole, which is good. But otherwise it's kind of just been slow and steady. This is the newest one. I think that I'm not fertilizing this plant enough, and that's why this leaf looks a little bit sort of warped. I found that when my plants are deficient in magnesium, or is it calcium? It's one of those. The leaves don't kind of fully form the way that they're supposed to, which you can see it's got like this bend to it. So this side is a little bit more underdeveloped than this side. I really have not been paying too much attention to this plant. I think because like after it got thrips and spider mites, like I was sort of just like leaving it. There was no new growth for a long time, and so I didn't really feel the need to like give it attention. And yeah, that sort of just turned into neglect. But this is still one of my favorite plants. I like it more than the patty, but I've been giving my patty a little bit more attention than this one. But now that we've got some new growth, finally, even though it's ripped up here, I'm starting to kind of get back into the rhythm of caring for this one. But yeah, very, very excited to finally see a new leaf after what's felt like forever. Another update in this exo is my Monstera esqueleto. I don't know if I did this in a video. I think I might have. I put it into some new pond. I got it on a pole. It's really been liking tree fern fiber. You guys can see this big chunky root right here. She's a beauty. And yeah, it's starting to size up a little bit. It seems pretty happy. It's not running, which I've heard did I say this is an esqueleto? Obliqua. Monstera obliqua. I've heard that this is notorious for having runners if you don't get it on a pole and it doesn't feel like it's actually holding on to something. So as soon as I repotted this, I knew that I needed to get it on a pole right away because my tolerance for running plants is very, very little. The chances of me just like getting rid of a plant because it keeps running is very high. That was the trend with the pretty much entire Scindapsus collection that I have. My Monstera spruciana, my Repotting tetrasperma kept running. All of the plants that just wanted to run, they have all found their way out of this house. But I'm glad that so far I'm having pretty good luck with this one, and I really am loving it, honestly. It's been fairly low maintenance, easy, haven't had to kind of fuss with it too much. But I do just make sure that this pole is like always has some sort of like moisture in it. I don't want to show you too much because again, I'm doing a plant tour and I kind of want to leave some for the plant tour. I'm going to show this to you because in my video that I posted, I think last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, the plants that are testing my patience right now, I had mentioned my philodendron, philodendron coelelii round, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll just show it to you, and then I never did. So I'll show it to you now. This is the coelelii that I was struggling with for a bit. I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was in my ugly leaves video or like cosmetic leaf damage video. It was in one of those, but this had like the longest stem ever because all of the leaves kept melting and it was just pissing me off. And I don't know, after that video went up, it just like, I think it knew that I was like talking crap about it, and then it just sort of figured itself out, because the next leaf that came after I filmed that was the only one that didn't melt, like immediately after, and it was like a perfect leaf. And then came, actually, this was the leaf that was on it in that video, and then this was the new leaf to come out, and then now this one, which is also like pristine and so cute. I have started to air layer it because of how long the stem is. So I think you can see in here, like it's starting to root. I'm pretty sure there's more roots under here. These top nodes have woken up. So once they get long enough, I'll redirect it into this cup. And then once we get enough roots, then I can just chop it and pot it straight away and put it on a pole. And then I think I'll do a little bit of experimenting with this stick here. Maybe we'll try doing some notching on camera for anyone who has not notched a plant before. But otherwise, I am very happy to see some normal growth on it. I don't know if it's going to be the same once it eventually outgrows the tent, but we're not there yet, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I think this is the last one that I will show you. So this is my Uliarum Donburnzii. I was crazy about this thing at one point in time, and I still, honestly, I kind of am. But yeah, it's been growing pretty well. This is a new leaf on it. The last time I showed it, this would have been the only new leaf on it. So it has since then grown this guy down here, and then these two little fellas down here, which got a little bit bleached in my tent, so I took it out. And not only that, it's wild. Like, I usually don't like stuff that looks like this. It's like a little bit, I don't know, goosebump inducing, but I'm finding it to be so freaking beautiful. Like, I gotta take some good photos of this before it dies, but yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised that it pushed one out for me. So it seems to be happy. It's just living in pond, which is very, very dry. And now it's just living in this cabinet here. And yeah, so far so good. I was gonna do some watering, but honestly, I think I just wanna like lay in bed with my wine and reply to YouTube comments and stuff, because I've been getting pretty behind. And then tomorrow, I think tomorrow might be the day that we start this. I'm nervous. I'm very, very nervous. This is gonna be my first year really, really trying to plant veggies and herbs outside. So I got a plot at the community garden with my neighbor. And I don't know if I mentioned this already, but the plot is literally like at the park across the street. So it's like a 5-minute walk from my house. And yeah, we have a shared plot together. So I'm gonna try and grow a few things. Honestly, I have no freaking clue what I'm doing. I'm like reading the directions and I'm like, what does any of this mean? Planting herbs and stuff, it seems way more complicated than aeroid growing. I'm not joking. I'm feeling very overwhelmed and I just don't know. I don't know. So I think I picked up 2 new seed packets today, cilantro and lettuce, I believe. And then my neighbor gave me sunflower, kale, lavender, which I think I might grow the lavender on my balcony if I can, radish, and thyme. And I picked up some like organic soil today, and I think I'm gonna start them inside in these things. When I tell you I have no freaking idea what I'm doing, I'm not joking. Like, I literally had to ask my friends what sow means. Like, you know, when you sow seeds, like, what does that mean? I had to ask them because I legit didn't know. So I think tomorrow is the day that we're going to start these seeds, because it's like now or never. It's starting to get warm. A lot of these packets are saying that I need to start it like before spring or in the spring, and my neighbor has already started her seeds and I'm falling a little bit behind. So yeah, I think that's gonna be on the to-do list for tomorrow, as well as maybe do some watering out in the living room. Hopefully it's a nice day, like a nice sunny day and not like overcast. Anyway, hope I compiled enough footage from today, and I will see you tomorrow. So I took Sunday off, but I am back. We have a particularly busy day today because I did not do any plant things yesterday. I'm gonna do probably 3 repots. I need to do some pest treatments, and I need to water my plants. So I want to formally introduce you to one of my newest acquisitions that I actually haven't shown on YouTube yet. This is my new, schefflera. I have been wanting one of these since I saw one on okay, I'm being slapped. Ever since I saw this one on someone that I follow on Instagram, and I just am obsessed with the way that she styles and shapes some of these plants. And ever since I saw the schefflera on her Instagram, I was like, yep, I need one. So here's the dilemma that I'm in though, is I wanted to originally shape it the way that she has, but a part of me kind of likes it bushy like this. There are, I believe, 2 plants in here, or maybe there are just 2 growth points on one like crown, if that makes sense. Oh my gosh, my nose. I legit have been sneezing all day. It's so annoying. So yeah, I don't know whether I want to prune it back the way that she has, or if I'm gonna leave it like this. Another issue is that this thing came infested with aphids, and I'm actually a little bit terrified about the fact that this is even in my plant room. This is the first time that I've brought it into my plant room since I took it home. So yeah, I want to get this completely unpotted out of this nursery soil and pot, and I'm gonna give it like a good wash down to get rid of these aphids, and do like a pest spray and just give it like the full spot treatment. So this is one that I want to do today. I'm not quite sure if I want to pot it in this pot, to be honest. I thought that maybe I liked this combination, but I'm not really loving it. I kind of wanted to get it into something a little bit taller because I have it in my my kitchen right now. Why do I look so red? Oh my gosh. I don't know if this is better or worse, but we gotta get going here. So yeah, that's pretty much on the to-do list for today. Just a lot of repotting and a lot of watering that is definitely overdue. So I think where I'm gonna start is with this schefflera, since I do need to like soak it and give it time to dry and stuff. So let me get set up here and we will get straight into this pest-ridden plant. I do need to mix a new batch of soil, so I'm gonna do that first. Oh my god, don't touch my plants. I'm sorry, no, I didn't mean to do that. I'm not gonna lie, I am feeling really creeped out touching this thing that is full of aphids. I've already given it a wash, but I've seen more again since I rinsed it, and they just gross me out. I've actually never had aphids before, and I don't know, I'm nervous. I'm just nervous for this thing being in my plant room, but I'm gonna get this out of here as quickly as possible and slam dunk it into the shower. Roots look good. It's in a very like dense soil mix right now. It looks like it just has perlite in it. I am quite nervous about this transition. This is my first time owning this plant, so I'm still kind of learning the way of schefflera. I've heard that these things are magnets for pests, so I'm a little bit nervous for that as well, and this seems like a really difficult plant to eradicate pests from because there's so many places to hide, which is kind of another reason why it would be a good idea to prune it back, just so that it's like less leaves to deal with and more, I don't know, I can like actually see everything going on. I think it is two plants. I can feel them coming apart. If these are two plants, maybe I'll prune back one and then leave the other one as is, and then just put them in two different rooms. Got a twofer. Love when that happens. All right, two really decent sized plants here. I think I'll trim back this smaller one and leave the bigger one a little. Actually, this one has a longer stem. Maybe I'll leave this one. Oh, but this one's really cute. Okay, I'm gonna leave that one and I'll prune back this one. And I think I'm even gonna try and like shape the stem a little bit. I just need to find some wire that is thick enough and sort of like train it like a bonsai. I've never done bonsai before, but I know people who do it, and I've like picked their brain a little bit about how to like shape stems the way that you want. So this might be another project for the year. So I think I'm gonna leave this one as is, because like look how cute and bushy it is, and it already has like a really cute shape. And this one's not as cute, and I think it would be fine if I just, you know, did a little snippy action. So I'm gonna get these roots, tied up, covered up. I was actually gonna make this specific repot that I'm doing right now its like own video. Stop touching my plants! As if it's not my fault. But in case it turned out to be a hot mess, I was like, actually let's just bury it within a week of, and maybe no one will see it. I feel like sometimes I think I'm more creative or artistic than I actually am. And this could be one of the times where I'm like, oh, I have this vision, and then it turns out looking like a pew. All right, let's go to the sink. I'm using like hotter water, just so that I can kill any of these bastards. My white princess also has spider mites, and I'm just gonna add it to this little concoction while I have a full sink and take advantage of it. This bag is just so large. Oh my word. Alright, so while those are soaking, I'm going to be repotting a few other things. I was gonna save this for a repot video, but I don't know, these are kind of depressing repots, so we'll just do it now. This one is the saddest philodendron El Guapo you'll ever see. He's so sad and so dry and so root bound and so alone in this life. This one I chopped off all the leaves because it had spider mites, and I know this leaf is brand new and very delicate and sensitive, but I think I'm going to try and plop it into that soap in the sink. I don't often fill up my sink like that to do pest treatments because it's you know, it uses so much water, so I try and like maximize it as much as possible and like put as many plants inside of it as I can just to get, you know, the full use out of it. But this thing is something else. Okay. Just needed to come, look at the roots at the bottom. They're all dead. I can already tell this is going to be one of those pond batches that I'm just going to sterilize and add to my soil bin because there's going to be so many broken roots. And honestly, I can probably do some root trimming too because this used to be a full plant. You can see how many leaves I chopped off. I have some predatory mites arriving either tomorrow or Wednesday. And I think what I'm gonna do is just literally isolate all of my spider mite plants into my greenhouses as much as possible, preferably my tent, and just freaking blast them with predatory mites. I don't have a ton of plants right now that have spider mites. I only have one plant that I can think of, that I know of, that has thrips, which has been isolated for a long time. But overall, my pest situation has just gotten so much better since I've been more on top of it. Oh my gosh, the smell of these broken roots smells so citrusy and delicious. One of you are out there that are watching this that is capable of this. Plant scented candles. Like, you know what, like the smell of a philodendron when you chop it? Come on. And then, yeah, if you can bottle this scent up, it literally smells like a mixture of like grapefruit and lemon. Oh, it's so good. Just chop off all of these. Oh, that's so satisfying. Remove this. Where's my phone? Sorry, I have to keep my phone on me because I think we're getting a new car and my husband needs to call me. Where the hell is my phone? What was I gonna say? Yeah, normally when I have things like this where I can like peel it off for you guys and like give you some good ASMR, yeah, I like to save it for when I'm filming, but this time, this one is just pure neglect. This one has literally been sitting in my windowsill in my bedroom, and I really don't have any like aeroids on that shelf, so that's how you know it was like just completely exiled. So I'm gonna start by, I'm actually gonna chop this chunk because why is it so big? Oh, dusty. Okay, let's just chop right here. Oh my gosh, the air is so gritty. Ew, oh my gosh, my worst nightmare. We're getting the new CX-50. I'm excited. I'm a Mazda girl. I love Mazda. And their new CX-50, the lowest model of the CX-50 is the one that we're getting because we don't have it like that. It's really nice. It's really, really nice. It just sucks that interest rates are up so much. It is so hard to be an adult in this freaking generation, man. I'm gonna karate chop off some of these nasty looking ones. I mean, all of these roots are alive. They don't look great, but they're alive. They're not dead. But I do think I can trim back some of them. Back to the sink. I'm just gonna go put this in the sink really quick. So I'm just going to take this little chunk boy and put it into soil. I can't remember if my mom or my sister have a philodendron El Guapo. Sorry. I have a sick beta. Thursday has not been well. He's not eating. He hasn't eaten in almost 4 days. He's really pale. He's kind of just like laying like this. Like it's like he's having a hard time swimming. He's bloated. But I gave him a full water change. I added some medicine and I added these like almond leaves that are supposed to like be so like helpful for fish. And he's actually kind of swimming around now for like the first time in like a week. But I think he might have been cold before. I did have a water heater in there, but I think where it was in the house, it just wasn't warm enough. And right now he's just right up against the heater, and I think he really likes it. So God, I just hope he makes a recovery. I've literally spent almost $100 on beta stuff just to get him well. I am strangely attached to this fish. I can't explain it. He brings me a lot of joy, and I think I actually might be very, very devastated if he passed, and especially because he's a rescue, and I feel like it would be my fault. But I don't know what happened. Like, he was totally fine, and then just went downhill all of a sudden. He stopped eating. He stopped coming out like to see me when it was time to eat and stuff. And yeah, he loves food, and he's begging all the time. So it's just been weird that he hasn't been wanting to eat his food. I even bought him this like fancy blood meal worms or something treat, and nothing. He did try and eat one of his new pellets yesterday, but then he just spat it back out. So that was a bust. But hopefully I have some good news to report, and I hope he doesn't die. I'd be honestly very, very sad. Anyway, I really am just happy to see him moving around, because seriously, he like was not moving at all. I thought he was dead a few times, and this is the most that I've seen him swim around in a while. I mean, it's not really swimming, but he's at least like moving around, and I just think he really likes that heater. I feel like I should add his little mushroom next to it so he can just like sit on the mushroom and be comfy. I'm so neurotic. I don't want to disturb him. Okay, so here is my chunk. I'm gonna label it though. Where's my labeler? I love this little thing. Okay. I have spent so much freaking money in the last month. I haven't even looked at my credit card statement because I'm too scared to look. I think I'm gonna put out an extra video over the next few weeks just to make up for it, and I hope you watch it because that's the only way that I get paid. But anyway, here is this guy. I'm just gonna shove it down here with the rest of my props. So if you guys watched the video that went out, I think it was last week, you would have seen my really sad philodendron burley marks fantasy that has mealybugs. You guys might not like this, but I'm going to chop this and throw away the rest because I'm not dealing with the mealybug plant. I'm not giving away any plant with mealybug, no matter if they're like, it's fine, I'll deal with it. So I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna chop, oh my God, where should I chop it? I think I'll chop here, and should I have a backup? No, I think this is fine. Okay, and I'm just gonna chop this whole thing. No, we're not doing it. When you deal with a pest outbreak that spans over multiple years, your tolerance for like rehabbing plants with pests, it gets a little bit less and less. You just kind of realize which battles you're gonna fight, and this is not one of them. So I'm gonna chuck this whole thing into my sink and also get this nice and clean. I think the last one that I'm gonna repot before we go into the living room and start watering is this variegated philodendron hederaceum. I chopped this one recently for my friend Fern, and it has started to push out new growth, although the stem has started to rot, which is not ideal. You can see right there, but it's got new growth. I'm gonna chop that off. I'm not gonna repot this just yet because it has no roots, but this one does, and it has 2 activated growth points, so this will be a nice little plant on its own. I'm gonna remove this ugly leaf here. And I think I'm gonna do pond for this one. I'll get this back into water. I said last one as if I don't have an entire sink full of plants to repot. Oh my gosh, I was supposed to do my seeds today. No, we'll do that tomorrow. That's way too ambitious for one day. So I've read a few comments from you guys saying that some of you in Canada were able to order billions. Now, I spoke directly to TPS and they said that they couldn't ship to Canada. I'm wondering if that means like offering it on Amazon Canada and not Amazon US, but be able to ship somehow to Canada. I don't know exactly. It wasn't a very long conversation, but one person said that they had no problems getting it. It just came directly to their house. Another person said that they had to clear it, or they had to contact TPS to like do something with customs and clear it or do something. I'm a little tempted to take a gamble and order it and just see if it comes, because this bag is dwindling down rapidly and it's making me a little nervous. That might be something that I do next month, because this month's credit card bill is gonna be freaking insane. I don't even want to. I really don't. The reason that it's so expensive, the reason that I've charged so much on my card is because I'm doing, like, if you're following my vlog, I said this year was the year that I was gonna finally like switch out a bunch of furniture that I wanted to switch out. I bought some things for my sister's new townhouse as a gift. Had to order more food for Pudge. Went to a very expensive dinner for a birthday. Like, it's just been a lot. I ordered a new table. I ordered a few other things on Amazon that I needed, and it's just been a lot this month, okay? But it's okay. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be okay. But yeah, next month I definitely want to try and get some more billions. I do have a lot of great white, but I don't know, I'm just oddly attached to billions right now. So here's this one. I did attempt to trellis this before. I think I've given up on that dream, and I'm just gonna let it become a trailing plant, which honestly I'm not mad at either. I think that's gonna be really cute. So we'll see how it goes. This one's gonna go back into my prop bin. Okay, this is the last of my pond. Slightly panicking, but I think it'll be enough to repot everything I need to repot today anyway, or at least in this week of. Got my eye on my little buddy over there. I'm a worried mother. No, there's two. Oh God, this thing is pissing me off. I'm gonna cut off more roots. It's just too much. You can go, you as well. Like, who said you should be this long? That feels a little bit more manageable, and I will try and get some roots along the stem as well. I want to submerge this top node into there because I've got some nice aerial roots starting to poke out that can really help me get the rooting process started. So I'm gonna go as deep as possible. That's what she said. Get some myco on this puppy. This one's gonna be a little bit of a gamble in terms of whether we're gonna have a successful transfer or not, but you can't say I didn't try. And it's fine because this is actually just one of my props that ended up turning out to be a lot larger than expected. Like, my main plant is behind me, as is my other one here. This was just kind of an extra. I was gonna sell it, and then this leaf came out and I was like, nope. If it declines, then it's not the end of the world. This is just an extra dude. So you go there. I should fetch more of the plants from the sink. I don't want to. You know what? I'm gonna take them out of the sink and dry them off, and then we'll go water stuff while they're drying. How about that? Perfect. Okay, break. I feel like it's been forever since we've been out here, but it's been about 2.5 weeks since I've done a full gut of it, and I am trying to be better at doing this at least once or twice a month, where I take everything out and I do a full inspection for pests, check the roots, and clean off this shelf, because if there's any spider mites lingering or I don't know, anything creepy crawly I don't want sitting on this shelf. So I'm just going to, I'm filming a plant tour soon. Don't look too closely. I'm filming another plant tour soon, so I don't want to like show you everything in detail. But for the most part, you can kind of see everything's growing pretty well. It's getting really lush. Maybe I'll show you a few highlights, but I'm not going to show you everything. But I think for the most part, this is going to be time-lapsed. And yeah, I don't know why I did that. You never lay there, buddy. Why are you laying there? So random. That is such a random spot. But you look so stunned. You look too stunned to speak. What's going on? Why are your eyes so big? I am obsessed with him. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I know where to start. Highlight number 1 is my philodendron Rio. I feel like some of the leaves that have been pushed out lately have been sort of underwhelming, like this one. Or else they're just like really, really teeny tiny. Like this guy, still cute, but tiny. I feel like this is the first one that's like a real leaf shape, and it has like the decent Rio variegation on it. This is one that I kind of like overlook in my collection, but it's so beautiful and I love it a lot. I don't know why I don't show it more often. But yeah, hopefully it starts to get going now. I can see 2, 3, 4 growth points down at the bottom. So hopefully this thing turns into a nice little bush soon, because right now it's a little sad looking, but I am actually quite excited about this new leaf. Another highlight, don't remember the last time I showed this leaf, but the Windlingeri is really starting to turn into a real leaf now, and you can kind of see it's starting to compete, not really, compete with the size of the other one. I'm not sure if it'll be as large as this leaf. I'm really not expecting it to, given that it's a brand new propagation. But I'm just so happy to finally see some growth on it, and it's even more magical than I thought it would be. And I think that this is my new favorite strap leaf anthurium. The Pallidiflorum used to be my number 1, but I think now that I have a Wenley, I'm like, yeah, the emergent leaf does it for me. Clarinervium is still going strong. The new leaf is actually really cute. You can see I've been struggling quite a bit with it. Like some of these leaves are just really like mangled and malformed. Is that a word? Malformed. This is the first sort of like normal looking leaf. It's so freaking dark and I'm obsessed. I still can't believe this thing is alive, but I'll take it. I finally have a new Dark Phoenix leaf. It does have a little bit of cosmetic damage. Some of this is gonna look a lot worse as it hardens off, but for the most part, she's in one piece. This sheen on this leaf is just insane. And yeah, I'm just happy that she is definitely liking it in this environment more than the plant room. I have a new leaf on this PAP 5 Self. Sheen is incredible, but this one did have spider mites, and you guys can see all of that damage it left behind. Freaking heck, but it is very cute. But look at this guy, he's like a fish out of water. His entire stem is exposed, so I think we'll get him repotted today too. I also have a new leaf on this Pappy Hybrid. If you guys don't remember, it's this one. I accidentally broke off the top of the caterpillar on this, and if you want to try and get some lower growth on your anthuriums, all you have to do is break off that top caterpillar. I'm not encouraging it, but once you break that off, it's going to shoot out some growth points down at the bottom. So that's one growth point, and then there's another one here. Your dad's home. My fish died. I feel terrible. I think that swimming around was like his last hurrah. Okay, I can't talk about it or I'm gonna cry. I'm just gonna start watering plants. I repotted my monstera about 2 weeks ago, and I haven't checked for any signs of life, so let's do that now. Holy heck, this is heavy. Oh, life! Life! Ow! quick little cry off camera. I'm very sad about my fish. We had a special bond. He wasn't just a fish, he was the best fish in the whole world. Okay, so I have a few things left to repot today, and then I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna curl into bed and cry some more. Let's do, I'm flustered now. Let's do this white princess that looks like absolute horse crap. Like, this is the ugliest white princess I've ever seen in my whole freaking life. And the new leaf looks rotted. I'm just gonna yank it out. I'm somewhat tempted to like chop this thing back. It's so effing ugly. I'm gonna chop off the ugly leaves. So like the whole thing. Okay, bye, bye, bye. Bye. Okay, so I'm just chopping off everything, basically. I'll just leave it like this. The root system is pretty small, so I think I can get away with this little guy for now. Okay, let's do the PAP 5 Self next. I just need to get this into a larger vessel. I'm not really gonna like clean anything off. Everything looks really good and healthy. I don't see any mushy stems, no root breakage. I'm happy with how it looks. It just needs something taller so that the stem is more submerged. I'm gonna put it into this plastic vessel and then just put it in a cover pot. I think this is going to be the last of it. Or actually, I think I can inoculate one more plant with what's left in here and then it's all gone. I think that's it for all of my pond plants today. Okay, I'm gonna start with the smaller one, the one that I'm gonna prune back. There's quite a bit of residue left on the leaves from the soap, but it's fine because I'm gonna prune back most of this, I think. Okay, I need to look back at my inspiration photo before I start hacking away at this thing. I'm nervous. What if I completely screw this up? I mean, it seems like she just removes most of the lower ones and then leaves the top ones. Right? Right? Okay. I'm just gonna start removing the lower ones then. Not all. I think I'll leave some. Okay, here I go. This feels kind of like a crime, actually. I'm definitely gonna remove the ones facing the back. This thing is just dropping like flies. Smells good. Okay, we're getting somewhere. She's looking a little more like a tree. I think trying to envision it, Sherman. Envision it. I feel like one wrong move and it's just gonna look completely botched. Okay. So I'm gonna remove these and then maybe I'll lighten the load over here. I have no freaking clue what I'm doing. I feel like it's like messing, like this right here is messing it up. Like I want it to have a little bit of like a curvy, okay, I'm just gonna do it. Here, here. And I feel like this needs to come off too. Am I crazy? Too late. Okay, we have a little bit more of a shape here. Sorry, it's hard to see against the backdrop in the plant room. I'm gonna remove this back leaf. Oh gosh, this is a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. I'm gonna remove this guy. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. It's not like amazing, but it looks more like what I want it to look now. I feel like it would have been cute if this could have gone down here, but it's okay. Okay, so now we can pot it, but I think I'm gonna opt for something like this because I want it to be a little taller. Wait, do I? Because I think I'm gonna put it in my, no, where am I putting this? I don't even have a spot for this. Probably in my bedroom. Sure. I think I'm gonna do Dynamico for this because, why? Oh, I wanna save the billions for the other guy. It's not that I don't like Dynamico, it's just I don't like it as much as TPS, but it's still a good Mico. Like I feel like I've had a good experience with it, and like a small bag kind of lasts a long time. Look at this massive asteroid leca. It's humongous. What the heck? Where did that come from? Sorry, this is just like a really bad area to repot because it's so busy in the back. It would be better if I was more forward and this is blurrier, but we don't have the luxury of space. Okay, so that one's good. Now I want to do, well, I have to do the other one, obviously. I poured myself an infant glass of wine for my Thursday. Rest in peace. I really am very sad. This is not an exaggeration. I feel like I'm gonna cry again once I stop filming. I think for this one, I'm gonna put it in this vessel, and it should be big enough. Yeah, perf. Oh, actually, you know what? It's gonna have to go higher. Freaking, I'm having a bad day. Found one slightly larger. Should be. Now it's the perfect size. Okay, no leca down at the bottom. This one is done and it's actually so cute. I think I still like this one more than the other one, even though I bought it specifically to do that, but I like this more. There is quite a bit of water, or there's still the staining on it or the residue from the soap, but I'm gonna treat it with a pest spray anyway. And if you're wondering what I'm using the Go Green Botanics Dr. Doom Indoor Plant Spray. The active ingredient is pyrethrin, 0.2%, and I'm using this one because it literally specifically says aphids. So yeah, gonna give this a little spray outside, but she is done. Last task of the day is this stupid little Burley Marks Fantasy. I'm just gonna do the 2-cup dome method, just go with what I know. A few people asked me where I got this tape dispenser. So it's a little Frenchie, and so I think it's a Frenchie. Yeah, because look, he has no tail. Well, I guess it could be a bulldog too, right? But I'm guessing with the short legs. I think it's a Frenchie. So I got this from Target. My sister got it for me from Target in the States a few years ago. It used to be this really, really obnoxious gold color, and you can actually kind of see some of it inside of here coming through as I use it. But I just could not stand seeing this like bright gold Frenchie on my desk. So I just spray painted it black, and it's so cute. So yeah, anyway, that's where I got it. I don't know if they carry it anymore. But yeah, it's been a few years now, so I don't think I'd be able to link it or anything. My hope is that, whoa. My hope is that these aerial roots activate, and then that way it'll be a lot of a smoother transition onto a moss pole. This is my last chance I'm giving myself. If this still wants to grow like sidewalk grass after this next transplant, I'm not gonna have a Burley Marks fantasy anymore. Over it. Anywho, that is gonna wrap it up for today. Usually I feel like I don't do anything. I feel like I've been recording for forever and got nothing done, but I feel like I got way too much done today. Like a little bit too ambitious. Tomorrow I'll probably take it a little bit more easy and just focus on my seeds, because I really do need to get those like germinated before I move them, or so I can move them to my plot and show you guys my little plot. So yeah, I'll see you in a second. I don't know what the frick I'm doing. Seriously. This is probably gonna be a bust, but you can't say I didn't try. And I just feel like knowing how to like grow your own herbs and stuff, it's just such a valuable life skill to have. But my interest in it, oddly, is just very, very little. I don't know why. You would think someone who's like, you know, into aeroids and growing hundreds and hundreds of plants would be into like growing herbs and stuff, but like seriously, the interest is not there. It's just something that I want to learn how to do. So I don't know if I'm gonna do all of these. I feel like I'm being a little bit too ambitious. I definitely want to try and grow cilantro, because I go through cilantro like crazy. I'm not using a bunch of thyme, although I've heard that this is pretty easy to grow. What's even in here? I don't feel anything inside of here. So this is completely empty. There's no thyme in here. So not gonna be growing that. Lavender, I do want to try growing on my balcony. So let's save that for another time. Lettuce, I'd love to grow lettuce, but someone told me that they're kind of hard to grow. I'd love to grow radish, because I eat radish. I'm not 100% sure about this sunflower. And it says to sow in mid to late spring, and said sowing indoors is possible but does not gain much time. So I don't think that I need to worry about that right now. So how about we just try, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So why don't I just try doing these 4, cilantro, lettuce, radish, and kale. Now, these instructions just overwhelm me in early spring. Okay, perfect. So I've got these little, they're called Jiffy strips. And I like these ones because you literally just put the whole thing into the ground and you don't have to take it out. It says, once you are ready to plant outdoors, saturate the strip and rip into easy tear cells. Can you put more than one seed in each? I think you can put more than one seed in each thing, right? I think this is all I'm going to be doing today, because I have a delivery for a new piece of furniture. And that should be coming within the next few hours, so I'm going to be filming for the vlog all day. So, but I just wanted to at least get this done, because I feel like I've been putting it off all week. Hello? Take out. Okay, I only need 4. I'll save 1 in case I have luck growing my lavender. I don't know. I think I can just start the lavender in a pot. I don't think I need to start it in here. I could be wrong. I don't know why I said that so matter-of-factly, like I know what I'm doing. So I think I showed you guys, I don't remember. I just picked up this bag of soil. It was the smallest bag of organic soil that they had. I wanted to use a really high composty, sea soily sort of thing, but they only had these massive bags, and I don't even know how much luck I'm gonna have with planting, so I didn't want to pay that much for a huge bag. I don't know if you guys have been able to tell in this video. I know some of you will. Oh my god. Ow, that hurts. I am not going to be wearing eyeliner anymore on this channel. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm kind of in a place right now where like I just need to get filming done, you know? And so much of my struggle in gearing up for filming a video is the just pure dread over having to do my makeup. And I'm like, why am I even trying that hard? So, you know, I was like, maybe I'll just fill in my brows, wear a little bit of concealer under my eyes, throw on some lip gloss, and we're just gonna call it a day. So that's gonna be my new normal look on YouTube. I don't particularly enjoy the way I look without eyeliner, but I think that if I see myself more on camera looking like this, I'll get used to it. Because I'm looking back at some old videos where I'm just like, I have a full face on, like in that same breath, I feel like it's not me. Like I don't recognize myself. Like that's not what I look like all the time. So I think it just makes more sense to like, you know, just go right down, like split it right down the middle and go halfway with the makeup thing. I know that's just completely random, but if you're wondering if I've just been lazy this week, I mean, in a way, kind of, yeah, but also I'm just not gonna be wearing a ton of makeup on this channel anymore because I'm over it. It's so weird to just like open a bag of soil and just start planting and not like adding a bunch of things. I was kind of thinking of adding more worm castings, but like this is an organic soil, I feel like it's gonna be fine. And then once it's actually in the plot, you know, there's gonna be a bunch of like bugs and stuff, and I think it'll be fine. I actually am not sure where I'm gonna keep this. I could keep it on my windowsill, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to keep them covered, like have them in a dome, like a humidity dome. Because if that's the case, like, I mean, I have my old humidity dome, but I don't really want to have to take it out. I feel like as long as I keep the soil wet, right? Like it should be fine. I don't think it necessarily needs to be in like a cloche, but I was thinking of just putting it on my windowsill because it's like really sunny right now. And yeah, I just feel like it would be fine. I may regret doing this, but I am going to put more than one seed in each pod because it seems really weird to grow one seed in one cell. Like, and I don't know if you're supposed to like, wet the seeds. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna, oh, they're so cute. Look at them. They're so cute. So it says, sow it a quarter inch deep into the soil. Now you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so let's do the radish in this guy. I think I'll put like 3 each. I'm probably embarrassing myself right now. It's so delicate. Okay, 1/4 inch. Like that? Sure, okay. I bet you once this video goes up, someone's gonna comment and say, no, you're not doing it right. You're supposed to only do 1 per cell, and then I'm still not gonna, I'm gonna just leave it. If you guys think I'm gonna dig these little guys up, you are mistaken. Now, it could also be a thing where you're supposed to just sprinkle it in and then just like cover it with soil, but I don't know what I'm doing. And then like, are you supposed to water it right after? I feel like you're supposed to water it right after. I'm putting 4 in some of them because you only live once, you know what I mean? Okay, these are the radishes. There's so many seeds. Okay, but we're gonna take it real slow. So I've got my little tag here that says radish. My neighbor gave me these. Should I do it like that? Oh wait. This thing is so tall. This is not, okay, you know what? I'm gonna make smaller tags for now because this is supposed to be for like the actual plot. I seriously love this little labeler. I've used it so many times and I have not needed to charge it once yet. And I got this for Christmas. Okay, these still have some names on it. I can't remove them and I don't own an eraser, which is kind of funny. I think I need to cut them down a little bit. They're a little long or wide. Oh no, is this my radish? Was it this one? Oh, seeds. I think it was this one. Wait, how come I can't find any of this? Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, it is this one. And then just go like that. And that is way better than that super tall one. Okay, let's do lettuce next. Oh, these are so weird. What the hell am I doing? These are so microscopic. They look like tiny little thrips. How does anybody? I feel like you just sprinkle it, but I don't think that's what you're supposed to do. These are way too small for me to be like trying to freaking place it individually. So you know what? We're sprinkling. And if I have 10 heads of lettuce growing out of one, then that's the life we chose. Okay, let's do cilantro. Oh, these ones kind of creep me out. Why do they look hollow? Oh, whatever. That's what those look like. Not that you can see anything. But it says plant these ones an inch deep. So I think I'll do like just 3 or something. Where I could put this in my plant room, but like where it is, like where I could put it on my propagation shelf, like it gets really dusty down there and I don't know, I find it a little bit gross that like all that dust that kicks up from the floor is just gonna be like going into this tray. I guess if it's covered, it's fine, right? I don't know, we're gonna have to figure something out. I wonder where my neighbor is keeping it. She probably just has it like in her kitchen or something. If I can even get one seed out of everything that I'm planting to sprout, I'll be so happy. Just give me one. And the last one is our kale. Oh, these are interesting. It looks like stratum. Kind of cute. Okay, it's giving goth. So this one says sow 4 or 5 seeds 1/4 inch deep. So I'm just gonna sprinkle a bunch. If I really was supposed to sprinkle a handful of each seed into each pod, I'm gonna scream. That would be hilarious. I'm just like publicly humiliating myself on the internet. It's fine. Nothing new. I like that it says to sow 4 or 5 seeds and I'm doing like 15. Push just honking in the background. He's actually sunbathing, living his best life. I feel like I have so many seeds. Like I should probably ask Alice if she wants some. I'm not like trying to grow like a full plot. I really just want to see if it's possible to grow anything in my care. What I also want to do is, Jing told me that she was growing green onions on her windowsill in pond, and it actually worked out really well. So I think I might try and do that this year as well. Got my old humidity dome here, but then I didn't, or humidity tray. Good thing I did not throw it away. I think they just fit so perfectly. Okay. I'm kind of thinking I should just fill this one up with something, right? even it out, you know? If I can grow more kale this year, I'd actually be very happy. So let's fill this last one with kale. I told Pudge to quiet down and now he's mad. I think he can tell when like I'm giving him a little bit of attitude, and he does not allow it. He's like, well, then you do not get to be in my presence. I take away that privilege, as he should. Now we just say a prayer and hope that these babies wake up, but I need to make some space in my plant room. But before we go in there, I want to show you one thing. So this is the El Guapo that we repotted together a couple days ago, and look how happy she is now. I mean, I karate chopped so many of her roots off, but she has just perked up so much. Her like, it's not even being held up by anything. Like, she just completely came back to life. I think really what it was is she was just really thirsty. But yeah, like the leaf didn't show any damage from the treatment that I did. There's a few little bumps and bruises, but really not bad. And the leaf is like super firm. So I'm happy this one is showing me that she's actually happy now, rather than dying, which I kind of thought it might. But yeah, I'll take it. Punch, you're snoring. So I was cleaning up and I'm reading these instructions for the lavender. Timing: start indoors 6 to 8 weeks before transplanting, or direct sow in early spring, fine. Seeding: do it indoors, barely cover seed in a moistened growing medium, and place in a plastic bag. Refrigerate for 4 to 6 weeks. What? I'm gonna have this growing in my fridge for 4 to 6 weeks inside soil? It seems weird, and I don't even think I have a plastic bag to put it in. Why does it have to be in a plastic bag? Can't I just cover it? Is it the same thing? I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're just gonna try it anyway. Okay, so it says to barely cover the seeds in a moistened growing medium. Oh my gosh, there's seeds spilling everywhere. Okay, so I'm gonna wet this first. Oh my gosh, these are so teeny tiny. These are the smallest little seeds I've ever seen. Okay. I'm just gonna sprinkle a few and we'll see what happens. I'm not trying to have like a massive lavender bush outside. It says to barely cover them, so I'm just gonna put a little layer. I think what I can do is go like this, and then like that. Vince is gonna see this in the fridge and be like, what is this? Whatever is in my eye is trying to remove me from this earth. I'm sure of it. Ow. Oh, okay, so my package is almost here. So we need to try and find a spot for my new propagation thing. Oh, well, look who woke up. Okay, so this is allegedly. I hate that the black lines across the screen. Allegedly, this is a fried egg. I almost decapitated it. And you know what? I can see some variegation. It's a great day to be alive. I started rooting this in pond, and I harvested this corm before I harvested these ones. Oh my gosh, the lighting, you guys. Turned on my ring light. Okay, so I harvested this corm before I harvested these. And I rooted these in pond, and this one was also in pond, but it was not doing anything. It wasn't doing jack crap. So I moved it to stratum, and lo and behold, literally like the following week, I had roots on it, and the growth point started poking out. She's on the move. I am glad I have an extra one because Jing is having trouble in the Friedeck land, so I might need to give her one of mine. I've got a whole box of just crap. I feel like I just went through these too. So this one is my Serpent's Chocolate. I chopped this on camera and a new growth point is waking up. So that's good. The stem looks really dark and oxidized. I don't think it's mushy though. Okay, so it's mushy. Look at that. We're gonna rescue this today and I'll show you how I do it. Just put this one in there, the variegated heteroecium. Whatever this is has wrinkled to a crisp. I think this might have been an elbow. It is no longer an elbow. This is some kind of anthurium that freaking hates me. My philodendron felix, which has not really been growing a whole lot, but it's alive. I have a majestic that just opened up and that is getting very bleached by this 10-watt light. Another freaking majestic, which I'll probably I think I'm gonna purge soon with Alice again. I think this is an El Choco red. I think I'm gonna get rid of it. Where is my El Choco? Oh, it's right there, duh. I have a Gloriosum Verde that equally hates me as much as the rest of the other dying ones. This one is starting to get mushy, so I'm just gonna throw this away. I have been neglecting my props like crazy. This one is, this is a El Guapo. I think I just did this one. And then another variegated heteroecium, which I think I could just add this to that. All right, so I got rid of 2 trays, I think. I need to repot this week. I don't know what the plan is, but the string of turtles are slowly taking over. I have a few things waking up in here. I have some of the Monstera stanleyana albo variegatas that are waking up. I think these are mostly Manjula. I don't know what this is, but it has a red root, so I'm thinking it's maybe another freaking majestic. There's fungus gnats in here. I just want one of these stanleyanas to wake up. I just want to see if it's variegated. But anywho, I definitely should have enough space now for my herbs. Hello? So I'm just gonna stick this guy down here as such, like that. Now, what to do about the props though? So we're gonna have to, I really should be handling these props anyway. How about in this platter, we arrange plants that we're gonna handle this week. Peperomia prostrata. That's it. Okay. Well, this is pretty much sprouting. I think I can shove some of my props on this second shelf. I just have like too many. I have too many props. That's the issue. I need to stop chopping. And if I chop, I need to just chuck it in the bin. Don't worry about it. If this fungus gnat doesn't leave me alone, we're gonna have issues. I don't even know who this is, but I do think this is some kind of anthurium that clearly I cared enough about to try and save and not just throw it away. So I feel like I should keep it, although she's drier than dry. Mother of pearl. Okay, I am throwing this away. El Guapo can stay. Majestic. Another majestic. Oh my gosh, it's a hot mess. I think I'm going to get rid of this one. And ow! I need to just take my contact out. This one, I don't know. Okay, so I got rid of enough, but I do need to handle this Serpent's Chocolate. here's the tea and the 411. I'm gonna just try and do a makeshift table here. There we go. Look at me. Face you down a bit. Ow. This thing has not rooted at all yet. As expected, since it's dying, you can see this thing is just like a crisp. So I'm gonna chop it back and see how far this rot goes without trying to touch this growth point. There we go. All healthy tissue, growth point is intact. This side of the stem is nice and firm, but I do want to callus this up. So I'm gonna use some of my callusing hormone. And as a reminder, as usual, this is it's a combination of equal parts sulfur powder, rooting powder, and cinnamon. So I'm just gonna leave this open like that for about an hour, and I'm gonna let that callus up a little bit more before I cover it back up. So yeah, that is gonna be it for today. I do kind of already know what I need to do tomorrow. I'm a little nervous about it, but you'll see. So that is it for Wednesday Sherman. Now it is on to you, Thursday Sherman. Happy Thursday to everyone except for me. I just finished taking a COVID test. It was negative, but something is wrong with me. When I inhale too deeply, I get this really bad pain in the back of my sinus. I have a freaking headache and I'm like lethargic. I just feel so sick. I feel so disgusting. And I'm drinking a double dose of Emergency, even though I don't think you're supposed to do that, but I make my own life choices. But like I was saying, it's bad timing because we are dog sitting for the... God, this fucking plant. What is happening in here? I'm just ripping it all to smithereens. So yeah, we're dog sitting for the next literally 6 days, 7 days. And it's not a little tiny girl. She is a massive Rottweiler. So it's gonna be interesting. But she arrives tomorrow, so I need to like dog proof the place because she's still a puppy. I think she's like 9 months old now. and she is a nibbler, so I need to put away all plants that are within her height, and put gates up, and it's gonna be a whole thing. But I was gonna film this week of until tomorrow, but I think I'm gonna end it here today just because I'm not feeling well and I only have a day to edit this and get it up. And I think all we're gonna do today are a few repots, and really I'm kind of dreading this, but like I mentioned, I need to do this string of turtles, and I kind of wanted to like put this in a terrarium and just kind of let it crawl up like a moss wall or something, but realistically I don't think I'm gonna be getting a terrarium anytime soon, just because of like financial reasons. Like I've set myself so far back that it's not even in like the budget for me to get a new terrarium. I may convert my old fish tank into a terrarium, but then I would need to get like a custom lid made for it. So either way, I'm gonna have to spend money. So I don't know. Let's save that one for last. But this is what I was talking about yesterday. I don't know why she's sagging so much. She hangs so low. Her petioles, like they have zero pep in their step. But I mean, it's growing. The roots are healthy. I just feel like the leaves are so heavy, and maybe it's not getting enough light, which is why these petioles are like a mile long. So you know what? I'm gonna chop it. I'm going to sell off some leaves because I'm gonna be purging soon, and I'm just gonna keep the top cutting. So I need to get it out of here because this is just ridiculous. And I think the next place I put this is going to be right near a window or something where it's getting more light, so that hopefully these petioles are not so long. It's insane. I legitimately cannot even describe this feeling to you when I inhale, when I like sniff or like take too big of like, I guess, an inhale. It hurts like right in the back. This has never happened to me before, and it's such a weird feeling. I swear it is always something with me. I just can never feel well. I always have something going on with me, and it's so freaking annoying. Okay, I should wet this moss so that it's easy to take apart, or I could leave it and just chop it. I don't want to chop the roots actually, so no, we're not going to do that. How about we take it out first and just loosen it here. It's in tree fern fiber. It's in a parfait, like a tree fern fiber mixed with pond and perlite and then moss up at the top. There's so much extra floral nectaries on this plant. It's so annoying. I'm not quite sure what medium I want to do. I'm thinking that I'm probably going to do a soil tree fern fiber mix. I don't see the point in trying to convert it to pond when it's been doing really well in tree fern fiber. So that's what we're going to go with. This thing has the longest stem ever. Look how long it is. Oh my gosh. I'm definitely going to obviously chop off the bottom because that's a lot. I'm gonna sell some in the purge, but I also want to give a cutting to my mom because she is a philodendron girl. And if I didn't at least offer it to her, she will not be happy with me. Oh. So let's chop. Where's the shears? Oh. Oops. Let's chop the chonky. here. That is a lot of root for a chunk. We can do some trimming, and then I have this leaf down here, which has its own root system. Oh, it's a 2-leafer. That's good. So I can sell this one. If anything, I'm probably gonna give my mom the chunk so she can grow it from a small plant, and it's less for me to have to pack. Okay, I think I can chop off this bottom node as well. I chopped off the leaf. Whoops. This guy's like, so you did that wrong. I would say this is, I mean, it's a pretty small root system for such a large plant. There is a small part of me that kind of wants to chop some leaves off. I'm gonna chop this, or I'm gonna leave this as is, even though this is way more of a plant than I wanted. I just don't want to chop off too many roots off of it, and this is already, well, this is already sort of borderline pushing it in terms of trying to sustain this top cutting with such a small root system. But before I get it potted, I want to wash these leaves down. So I think I'm just gonna bring them to the shower and just give them a little rinse really quick off camera. I have 1, 2, 3. I think I can chop this. Just make sure tissue looks healthy. I'm gonna give my mom, I think I'll give my mom this cutting right here, this chunk, and then I'll sell these two as chunks, and they're a good size, so they're not like single nodes or anything. I think I'll just put these straight into soil and call it a day. I'm gonna start putting a lot of my plants that I'm giving away and purging and stuff into pots with drainage, because honestly, I find myself using them less and less every day. So, and they're taking up so much space in my cabinet that it doesn't make sense to like hold on to it. So this one has kind of a bigger root system. I could do landscape fabric at the bottom so that it doesn't come out though. I have extra pieces here. I don't know if you're new here and you've never seen me use landscape fabric before. This is what I use on plants that have drainage that I don't necessarily want soil and medium to come out of it. And it's a really good sort of middle ground if you aren't comfortable not using drainage holes but kind of want to see what it might feel like, or if you're like worried about flushing and stuff. I mean, it's still not the same as no drainage, but one step closer for sure. My head is starting to really hurt, and I think I'm getting a migraine. I also feel like I might have a fever. I tested negative, but I'm wondering if maybe I tested too soon. Or maybe it's just like the regular flu or something. It's like the worst timing ever. I'm gonna have a freaking 150-pound dog running around here with Fudge, and I'm gonna be sick. It's just great. I just need to label them now before I freaking forget what they are. Oh gosh, this headache. By the way, I really, really appreciate when you guys are always like, slow down, like don't feel the need to post if you're not, you know, or like to do videos if you're not feeling well, and like I truly appreciate that you guys look out for me in that way. But the truth is I have to post to pay my bills. So it's not because I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna be so disappointed in me or they're gonna hate me if I don't post. It's just, if like the nature of essentially having your own business and, you know, creating content where that's how you get paid, it's like if you don't do it, then you don't get paid. So it's, yeah, it's really not about me feeling like I'm being pressured by you guys. It's being pressured by my credit card companies to pay my bills on time. What am I doing? Oh yeah. So here's what my, oh my gosh, I don't have freaking, I turned off my product showcase, which enables the focusing. I apologize if all that footage that I just recorded is blurry, but this is the label, and I will link this labeler in the description. I love it so much. It's so easy to use. I love that it's an app and I don't have to like have this big clunky thing with like a full keyboard. And it does come in clear tape. I didn't even know that Jean got me clear tape as part of the gift, because I was talking about like, oh, I wish that the tape was clear so that like you didn't see it on the pots like that. You know how it's like so like, oh, it's so white. She's like, dude, I gave you clear tape. And lo and behold, I found it yesterday. For some reason, I thought the extra tape that she got was just more white. I didn't know that it was clear. So I'm excited to use that, but I'm not gonna use it till I run out of the white. So these two are to sell, and this one is for Mother. Still waiting for my other cuttings to dry. So let's figure out this string of turtles that's propagated like crazy in stratum. I feel like this little guy would be cute for the string of turtles. How the heck am I gonna get it out of here? It's gonna look a hot mess. Oh my. Oh my. What am I doing? Soil, hello. And I'm gonna inoculate this with great white. And it's water soluble, so I'm gonna do that instead of sprinkling it on the roots. Let's get you closer because you can't see jack crap. Okay, I think this is better, hopefully. So, like I said, I have it in stratum. I do think I'm gonna put some of the stratum in here. Oh my gosh, what the hell do I do? I feel like I have to put it like right on top, almost. If you guys can't tell, I have no experience with growing string of anything, so this repot is a little daunting to me and a new experience. I almost want to, I wish I could just scoop it and then just plop it. And it's so delicate that I don't want to break it. Oh, that's in there. Okay, I don't think I really have a choice. I hate this. I just broke, look how delicate that is. I just broke it. I'm just gonna plop it straight in, not worrying about getting the stratum out. And I'm not gonna worry about like having it trail. I'm gonna let it figure out and do whatever it wants, and I'm just gonna plop it like that and then just get some soil over it. This is so tedious. The roots are like so tiny and I don't know what to do. This is too dainty for a person like me. These man hands. I feel like I just don't overthink it. Just pot it and let it sort itself out. This one's rooted, so I'm just gonna stick it in here and see what happens. And then I'm gonna even put some stratum on top, I think, just to give it something familiar. Like, oh hey, yeah, we know you. So since this is growing in essentially a cloche or a greenhouse, I'm going to also put this in sort of that same environment. I'll probably put like a cup over it, like a large cup over it in the meantime, just to let it get established before I take it out. And then I'm probably honestly gonna like grow this on my windowsill or something. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm even surprised that I have this plant. Like, what is this plant doing in my house? But I don't know, I thought it was kind of cute. I rescued it from my friend who was just gonna throw it out. So kind of happy to give it like a second life, but we'll see how long this lasts in my house. While I've got you at this angle, I think we can also address this philodendron Felix that does not look very happy in here. Like, this pot is hecka big, and for what? Oh my. Mushy. Mushy, mushy. And there's like no roots, no new roots on it, except for right here, but it doesn't look great. These are, I don't know if those are alive. Feels firm. I think I'm gonna actually put this in tree fern fiber. But I'm gonna clean this up a little bit because I wanna get some roots on here. All right, I'm working on one of these Esmeraldense cuttings, which is the one that I'm keeping. And I think instead of a lazy pole, we're gonna upgrade it to one of Lauren's clear poles just because of like the sheer size of this thing. I do think I'm gonna cut one of the leaves off though. Which one is it? This one right here. It's just a little warped and weird, and if I can have less leaves on this thing, the better. Honestly, I wish I had it in me to chop off like 2 more leaves, but I just feel really guilty because they're so like big and nice. It's just these petioles are so long because I have not been giving it like the ideal light conditions. And this new leaf actually looks pretty juvenile. Like I don't even think it, oh, it does have lobes, but it's gonna be really small. So yeah, she's just been like overdue for everything basically. In terms of what I'm filling this hole with, good question. Very, very good question. I don't want to do moss anymore. I could do soil maybe. The holes are kind of big though. Okay, so I said I'm gonna do a mix of tree fern fiber and soil. I already have tree fern, oh, there's so many roots in here. I'm just gonna pick as many out as I can, and then we're still gonna use it because that's just how I operate in this house. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of fleca down at the bottom since it's such a tall vessel. I hope it fits. I don't want to go that low, but let's put this in first. I think I should dip this in my callousing hormone. Hope booby doesn't pop out. as much as these freaking petioles want to go in, I'm seriously thinking about chopping 2 of these leaves off. Yeah, I think I'm gonna chop this bottom leaf off. Don't cancel me. It's a little bit better. I think this is a good height for it, because I like to submerge like at least a portion of the pole so that it stays hydrated for longer, because it takes in some of that humidity from the vessel. But I don't want to bury it too deep, or else I'm going to have to add another pole too soon, and this thing actually grows pretty fast. These freaking leaves are facing downward. Stupid plant. All right, so the potting situation is done, but I'm not okay with this petiole situation. So we are going to tie her up and give her a little bit of support emotionally and physically. I need string. I'm just gonna take little pieces and I'm gonna tie it to the petiole. Don't tie it too tight because she needs to breathe. We don't want to break her neck. I could just tie it straight to the pole. It's gonna look a little bit bananas. It would be much better if I had fishing wire so it wasn't so out there, but do I care enough to get fishing line? No. Okay, this guy. Look at I crushed it under my table, but that's okay. Why is this time? What time is it? Oh, 3:30. I haven't eaten yet. Hello, husband. What's that?
Oh, just oranges.
Oh, oranges.
Did you want an orange?
I wanted a Vietnamese sandwich, and that's a Vietnamese sandwich bag, and I got really happy. And it's just stupid oranges. I didn't even know it was 3:30. I haven't eaten yet. He hasn't gone out. I know. What the hell? I was like, why? Did he get fired? Why is he home? Done. Sort of. This one I am going to sell or give to a friend. I have a feeling that Alice wants one of these, but she'd be too overwhelmed to have it. I also think Jing might want it, but if they don't, then I can just sell it, and it's literally not an issue. I'm feeling worse and worse by the second, so I need to wrap this up because it's not good. It's not good. I'm again just gonna put this in soil. I already put away my landscape fabric, so we're gonna have to do no landscape fabric on this. Okay, she's done. Done and done. I do need another label for it though. Hopefully it's still in here. It's not an El Guapo. It's a freaking... Wait. Why was I writing El Guapo? See, I'm not feeling well. I put El Guapo on all of these. It's not an El Guapo. And you guys knew that. And you knew that. And you were screaming at the TV. And you're like, what are you doing? Listen, I'm not all here today, okay? I'm not feeling great. I'm not feeling, not even good. Where's my other cutting at? Didn't I have 3? Oh, here. This is not an El Guapo. Why was I thinking of an El Guapo? What the heck is wrong with me? As soon as I'm done filming, I'm going to make myself the hottest bowl of soup that I've ever had my entire life. That was like the biggest, brain fart. You know what? It's a good thing I'm not filming anymore after today, because who knows the things that will escape my mouth. I don't know what else I'm gonna be selling. I think I'm gonna sell both of these Majestics. I don't need 2 of them. I could probably sell my Frydek corn, which is now opening. I don't know if you guys will be able to see inside of it, but it is variegated. Can you focus? I'm not having a good filming day today, but I think you guys might be able to see the variegation on it. It does have a good amount of green, which is good because some of the corms that have been coming out from my mother plant are just way too white, and they're trying to unalive themselves. So I am happy to see one with a good amount of green. But yeah, I think I can sell maybe at least 1 corm to help pay off some of these expenses. Okay, the last one that I'm going to be repotting as I wrap up this week's up is this Philodendron Felix, which has been sitting in hydrogen peroxide for a bit now. I'm gonna just do tree fern fiber, I think. I hope that it rehabs well in this substrate. I feel like I've just had really good luck with tree fern fiber, and I have faith that it will bring this guy back to life. But at the same time, I've heard that the Philodendron Felix can be kind of challenging to root. I've heard this from multiple people now, but at the same time, I feel like it's just the specimen that you get, because I didn't actually have issues with a lot of the plants that people were saying were like notoriously hard rooters. But then things that people find so easy, I'm like, nope, can't grow it. Feeling a little bit better about this, but still not 100%. I would be sad if this one died because that was a gift from Lauren, and I am actually quite a fan of the philodendron Felix, and I really hope that she decides to live in this house. But anyway, that's gonna be it for this month's week of. I would hope that I was able to whip up something for you guys, considering I did this super last minute. I'm usually pretty good about getting my week ofs done like early in the month, but March has just gotten away from me. I don't know where it went. Actually, I don't even know where this entire year went. It's just going by really fast. But yeah, thank you guys for again watching this series, which is one of my favorites to do, one of the most exhausting, but definitely one of the most, I would say, fulfilling. I feel like I got a lot done this week, like a lot. Still have a lot more to go though, and of course I will film everything that we're doing around here plant related. I've got some good stuff coming up in the schedule. I'm finally going to be getting up an updated houseplant tour, which I think may be broken up into 3 different parts because it's going to be intense. We're going to be going in the tent. We're going to be using predatory mites. Yeah, lots of, I mean, I feel like it's definitely spring. It feels like spring around here because a lot is happening. Anyway, if you want to see what the next week is going to be like for me with this 200-pound dog or 150-pound dog, it'll be on my vlog probably, I don't know, a week from now or maybe a little bit longer than that. I'm not quite sure. I will link my vlog in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you liked it because it helps us a lot on YouTube, and I will see you guys in the next one.